Hey, in this month's vlog, we're going to talk about the difference between arbitration and mediation. So, if a lawsuit is filed, that means you are now involved in litigation. Litigation can be resolved through a number of different ways. Obviously, a trial with a judge or a jury. But most litigated cases are resolved without having to go that far. Many are put on what's called an arbitration track, and others are often resolved through mediation. From an outside perspective, laymen frequently confuse arbitration and mediation, and I want to talk real briefly about what they are and what the difference is. An arbitration is essentially a miniature trial. The rules of evidence are relaxed. Very often, much of the arbitration is conducted in written form through the sharing of records. An arbitrator is usually somebody who is jointly selected by the two parties, and arbitration is typically a binding outcome. Sometimes there are rights to appeal that binding outcome, but the arbitrator will hear the case. It will be conducted as an informal trial. It usually takes much less time than an actual trial. Maybe around 1/10 of the time. So a trial that would take all week can be done in a half day or a little bit more through arbitration. And an outcome is given to the participants. A mediation is not typically something that has a binding outcome, but is an exercise in an attempt to try to find common ground and reach a resolution. The sides will typically select a mediator, as they do when they select an arbitrator, and the mediator's job is not to provide a decision, but to go to each of the different parties, typically in different rooms, and to talk with them and to point out the risks and rewards of settlement and the risks and rewards of not settling and seeking a resolution through potentially arbitration or trial. Mediation does not require an outcome, but is nevertheless typically quite effective. I would say about 80% of the time in our practice we see an outcome from the mediation, and in many of the 20% of cases that don't resolve at the mediation itself, the mediation still typically provides a lot of the groundwork that is needed to be done in order to ultimately reach a resolution, short of having to try a case. So I hope that information is helpful to you if you're facing either arbitration or mediation. And as always, if you have questions or concerns about your legal matter, feel free to give us a call. Our consultations are free. We're happy to talk with you. Thanks so much.